All right, today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why I switched from Facebook to promote my business to Instagram. So, if you maybe haven't made the switch to Instagram, or you're like, what's the big deal about Instagram? Or maybe you're on Facebook and you're a little bit frustrated and you want to know how to better market your business, and maybe you're thinking, maybe I should try out Instagram. This video is for you. I'm going to lay out all the reasons why Instagram is so effective for lead generation. And it was so effective, it was enough to make me switch from where I felt comfortable, which was Facebook, and to learn an entirely new platform. Because when I started marketing my business online, the first thing I did is I went to Facebook, right? That's where I felt comfortable. That's where I'd been posting before. And I was like, all right, let's get started with my network. And I started marketing my business on Facebook. And I started doing different things like, I started posting about my business and doing, playbook posts, even just showing behind the scenes of my business and showing my MK lifestyle, all of my posts. And I started even saying things like, come to this event. I was inviting people in these posts. And I ran into some problems on Facebook. And let me know in the comments if you experienced these issues too. The first issue that I had with Facebook is I could not figure out how to get outside of my network. Okay, so I'm on my Facebook profile, on my personal profile, where you have friends. You got your profile where you have friends, and then you got your business page where you got followers. Okay, so I'm talking about my profile where you have friends. And I found out that everything I was posting, anybody who engaged on it or anybody who responded to it or just saw it, were all people that already knew what I did. I wasn't reaching new people outside of my network. It was always the same people commenting. It was my mom or a current customer or, the same creepy person who has been friends with me on Facebook that I met at a networking event. I was like, dude, thanks for the engagement, but you're not who I'm looking for. How many of you experienced that issue on Facebook where you were like, how do I get outside of my friends list? How do I get outside of my network? And the other issue that I had was okay, so I'm going to run this Facebook business page, and Facebook business page, it's, public. So I'm thinking this is the way I'm just going to post on here, and Facebook's going to show my post to other people who would be interested, and people can just like my business page and I'll use it as a website. Well, I don't know if you've noticed this issue too. On your Facebook business page, you don't get as many views as your profile does. In fact, when I post in our Facebook group as myself, okay, for my personal profile, I get way more views, way more engagement than when I post as my business page in my own group that my business page is connected to. I get more views when I post as myself. And I would love to post as my business page because that is pretty much how it's designed. I mean, this is a business group, and I can't because unless you with your business page, you don't get as many views from it. And here is why. If you've ever wondered that, why don't people see stuff from my business page? Here is why. Facebook wants businesses to pay to play. This is why they are so big about, we only want you posting about your business on a business page. Why? Because they want you to boost that post. You ever get those notifications? They want you to pay to show your post to people, because that is how Facebook makes money. And if you're not paying, they're not going to show it to as many people. So that's why you get more views on your Facebook profile. So that was the big thing that I noticed. I was like, how do I get outside of my network? So I was doing things I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to random friend request people and, people who I don't know, where it suggests these things, and then just post stuff in my profile. And that gets a little spammy, or send out the spammy messages to people, like the hey girl messages. Or I'm going to do what's called group poaching, where you go into a group where your people would be, and you're really not interested in being part of the group. You just want to find the people in the group to then invite them over to be customers of yours. And that's spammy too. So I felt like I could not get outside of my network on Facebook without doing spammy, weird techniques or paying for ads. So that was when I was like, there's got to be a better way. And that's when my friend, who's actually an influencer on Instagram, was like, girl, you got to get on Instagram. Instagram is the place to be. And so I So I asked her, I'm like, well, I don't want to learn a whole nother platform. I don't get Instagram. I don't understand it. I was like, I feel like even I'm too old to be on Instagram. I felt like awkward on there. I mean, I had an account that I signed up for at Career Conference because the company was like, if you post for Career Conference and post this hashtag, then you'll get entered in drawing. That's how I signed up for Instagram. And I never used it for like 5 years after that single post that I did at Career Conference. And I'm like, when I go on there, I feel like I am late to the party wearing the wrong outfit. Like I feel totally out of my element. So what she did is she talked me through Instagram. She taught me Instagram. And I fell in love. I was like, oh yes, because it solves all the issues that I was having on Facebook. And I'm going to show you. So reason number one, why I switched to Instagram from Facebook was visibility. I wanted more eyeballs on my stuff outside of my network. And I was having a really hard time getting outside of my network on Facebook. And so you cannot generate leads, cold leads, without people seeing you, period. If no one's seeing your content, that is like going to a bridal vendor event and setting up your booth in a closet. If no one's seeing it, what's the point of posting, right? So I was like, I need more visibility. I need more eyeballs on my stuff that aren't my friends, that are outside of my network. So one thing that I found on Facebook, and I went over these, like in order to get outside of my network on Facebook, you have to do some of these spammy things. You got to do those random friend requests, those hey girl messages, that group poaching, or you got to do paid ads. And that's really the biggest way that you get outside of your network on Facebook. On Instagram, there are way more organic ways that are just built into how the platform is. So like Facebook, I felt like I had to like hack the system to make it work. Instagram, it's just naturally the way that it works, and it gets that it's naturally the way that it works, and it gets that visibility on your stuff. So how does it do it? Well, first of all, the algorithm on Instagram is designed to show your post to people outside of your network. If you have a public profile, that's a whole nother training, but you got to have a public profile on Instagram in order to get your stuff seen out of your network. If you have a private profile, only people who are your followers are seeing your stuff. You want to get new followers. So the algorithm wants to show stuff to people outside of your network because it wants to get you followers. And they do that through the algorithm and through something called the Explore page. So those are two features that Instagram offer, that Instagram is already built into the way the platform is run, that will get your stuff seen to people outside of your network. Same thing with Reels. Those are the short form videos. Reels are an amazing way to get outside of your network because people binge watch Reels. It has its own Explore page, and Instagram is really promoting them. So because they want to compete with TikTok. So Reels are another thing on Instagram that help you to get your stuff out. Collab is a big culture thing on Instagram. People collab a lot. Other accounts love to collaborate with other accounts through either shared lives, interviews, where you can get in front of other people's audiences, through collaboration posts, through guest posts, through collaboration reels. There are a ton of ways that you can collab with other accounts to get outside of those other audiences. And then, of course, Instagram does have paid ads too. But I always say work the organic stuff before you start going for the paid stuff. All right, so reason number one is visibility. Reason number two is audience. And one thing that I love about Instagram is you can curate your audience to be the people who are interested in your stuff. So here's the thing. Facebook has friends, and I'm talking about your personal profile, not your business page. And the reason I'm not talking about your business page is because your posts don't get seen from your business page, you don't get a whole lot of visibility on your business page posts. Like, I don't even talk about it. In fact, I think it's kind of worthless to have a business page unless you are going to drive your own traffic there. That's it. Like, a business page is great as a website, but you still have to send people to your business page. Facebook won't do it for you. So whenever I talk about Facebook, I'm really talking about your profile, because that's the only way you can make things happen on Facebook without paying for ads. Okay. So Facebook has friends, whereas Instagram has followers. Let me explain why this is a really cool difference here that makes it such a special thing on Instagram. And I know Twitter has followers too, but I'm not a big Twitter fan, but I love Instagram. Okay. So Facebook has friends. Here's what happens when you get friends on Facebook. It's reciprocal. When someone friend requests you, or you friend request somebody else, You are both saying, I'm okay with seeing what's in your feed, and you're okay with seeing what's in my feed. Okay. So you're both seeing each other's posts, whether you like it or not. So when a friend request is approved, you're both seeing each other's posts, and it's forced, right? Are there some people, tell me in the comments, are there some people that are on your friends list that you're like, I don't want to see this person's posts, and you have to snooze their posts, and you're like, I can't stand seeing their posts in my feed? And the thing is you end up with what's called a mixed audience, because there are some people who approved your friend request or friend requested you because they are interested in you. These might be people you know in real life or knew in real life, like back in high school and all that, right? So these people, they agreed to be your friend because they are interested in seeing your life, but they didn't necessarily sign up to see posts about your business. Get what I'm saying? And then you do have some people who they signed up to see things about your business, but like then you're posting way too much of the stuff about your personal life, about that dinner you ate and the vacation you're on that has nothing to do with them wanting to follow you. So you got this mixed audience in there, and you don't know how to create content for them, because you've got to appease the people who are following you for your friendship, for your life. And you've also got to appease the people who are following you for your business. And then that's where we have people who, we burn bridges. They're like, oh my gosh, they post too much about their business. I had a friend who she posted about her Beachbody all the time. And I love Beachbody. I think it's a cool program, but like 3 to 5 posts a day of her showing her sweaty selfies. And I was like, girl, like, I just want to be friends with you. And so I had to like unfollow her, and she was a close friend of mine, because I had to like ignore her post, because I was like, you're showing way too much. And so that's when we annoy people. That's when you get the random comments from, your uncle on your beauty post, and you're like, this post really isn't for you, Uncle Dave. Like, so that's where you're getting that with that mixed audience. Whereas on Instagram works with followers. So what that means, it's not reciprocal. It's a choice. And people are a lot more picky about who they follow on Instagram, because I'm saying when I follow you that I want to see your content. I want to see more of your content. I want more of your content in my feed. And I might be following you, but you might not be following me, or vice versa, right? So when you follow somebody, you're choosing whose posts you want to see. And so people are a little more picky about that. You have to earn their following, and it's a choice. So what's really cool about that is when someone agrees to follow you, they are giving you tacit agreement. That is like them saying, yes, I want to see more of this content. They are giving you permission to post. If they followed you starting with a business post, they have given you their permission to show more about your content. And you can actually curate your audience to be just people who are interested in your business, if you are not mixing your stuff in an account. That's why I recommend, if you really want to have a personal account on Instagram where it's your family and your friends, that you keep that account separate from your business account. Because what you're missing out on is curating that audience to be just people who are following you for your business. And then you can really create content that targets those people. So they followed you for your business content, and they want to keep following you because they keep wanting to see your business content. And therefore, they are easier to sell because they're already interested. Does that make sense? Like that curated audience, like, this group of people, they're into you. They're into your business. And so keep posting about your business here because they're interested in it. So I love that you can curate your audience on Instagram. And reason number 3 is culture. So on Facebook, I'm going to talk about a couple of the differences between the platforms. Facebook is more discussion focused, where Instagram is media focused. Instagram started as an image sharing platform for bloggers and photographers. That's what started it. So on Instagram, you can't post just a text post. You have to have either a photo or a video in your post. It's media focused. And that's what shows up first, right? When you are scrolling your feed on Instagram, you see the media first, and then you see a preview of the caption. You only see the first 150 characters of the caption, and you only have up to 2,200 characters in that caption. Whereas Facebook, you see the discussion first, and you see like at least 1,000 characters of the Facebook text before you get to the media. So Facebook is more about the discussion and what you say. Instagram is more about what you show. And so you need to put a lot more effort on Facebook into what you say, and you need these longer texts and you need these things to say on there. Whereas Instagram, it's more important what you are showing to stop the scroll, because that's what stops people from scrolling to look at your post. So the problem you get with a discussion based platform, and y'all, we experience, and I'm not even Southern, but y'all, we all experience this during the election, during COVID, during the social injustice things that have been going on. Like, you get a lot of people presenting their opinions as fact on Facebook, don't you? And you get a lot of discussions that you're like, this is like, it can get really toxic, right? You know what I'm talking about, without giving examples. Like, you all know what I'm talking about. And like, it's great to have strong opinions about stuff, but on Facebook, you can get really distracted by those things, and your business posts can get kind of lost in the shuffle. On Instagram, you sometimes get that stuff, but because you're working with followers, people will real quickly and unfollow you if they're not interested in that stuff. So I liked that there was less of that toxic discussion culture on Instagram versus on Facebook. Instagram is also very focused on original content, where Facebook is shared content. There's a big focus on shared content. The next time you scroll Facebook, keep track of how many things are shared photos, shared websites, shared videos, shared memories. 1 second. Atticus, don't answer the door, buddy. Sorry, someone rang my doorbell and I don't want my son answering it without me, just safety's sake, because I don't know who I'm expecting. All right, so Facebook is all about shared content. So think about the shared memories, shared videos, shared links, all that stuff. People are all about sharing things that they did not create. Whereas Instagram is about showcasing your original content. And what's cool about that is where you can build your brand. That's where you build up and you show people what you're about versus how many posts you can share from other people. Facebook is also more of a closed audience, whereas Instagram is an open audience. So what I mean by that is, when you are posting on Facebook, even if you're posting a public post, which might get outside of your network, it's kind of weird when people comment on posts of people that they don't know, because we're working with friends, right? Whereas on Instagram, there's a big culture of commenting on other people's posts who you don't even know. Like, that is ingrained in the culture. So that's a great way to get visibility on your stuff, because you can communicate with other people who might not be following you, who you might not be following, who might not even know you. But there is just that open audience feel to Instagram, that it's more of a big, large community as opposed to a bunch of little small communities like on Facebook. And by the way, I do want to say, like, on Facebook, I still love the Facebook group function. I use the Facebook groups all the time. So this is not talking about Facebook groups. So Facebook is great for groups. I love that function. I love the community that Facebook is doing, but Instagram is great for that public lead generation. And that's why I switched to Instagram from Facebook. So, I actually talk a little bit more in depth on this in our mini course, our Leads for Life mini course. So if you have not taken that mini course yet, I highly recommend that you do so. It is free. So I'll put a link in here so that you can go right to that mini course. But it's a free mini course that you can take that will dive a little bit deeper onto the benefits of using Instagram for lead generation. I also have a course called Intro to Instagram. And so there are 2 ways that you can take this course. It is free for anybody who wants to get their account set up. So if you click on free preview for this course, we're going to take you through how to set up your account. So if you aren't on Instagram yet and you're like, I need to get things set up, and you need someone to step-by-step talk you through it, then you can take this course and just select free preview, and that will take you through that. If you want the entire course, okay, which we're going to talk about strategy, I'm going to talk you through how to use Instagram. We're going to dive a little bit deeper in this. Then you might think about purchasing the full course to get full access to everything in Intro to Instagram. So those are other resources that I have available for you that will help you. All right. Any questions about this here? Any questions about the benefits of Instagram versus Facebook? Any things that you want to add here? I should have asked for them earlier because it takes a minute for them to come in here in the comments. But hopefully this was helpful to you. laying that out, showing you the differences between the two, how they help, why I'm so passionate about Instagram, why I am a huge promoter of switching to Instagram for lead generation versus Facebook. It's just such a more effective platform for doing that. So if we don't have any other questions, then I'm going to sign off here. If you do have questions, feel free to just pop them in the comments here and I will go through and I will answer them. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this Tuesday training. And I will see you next week.